I'm Shepard Fairey. I define myself as a visual communicator.
Shepard Fairey is like one of those artists that come along once a generation.
Not only is Shepard Fairey not an artist, he's about the furthest thing from art there is.
You know why Shepard Fairey's art is beautiful? Because you look at it really closely and you find random.
It's so dense in different textures that it can bring out the good, the bad, the evil, the ugly, and a lot of little things within. And that's what makes it so wonderful.
This is somebody that has started doing illegal stuff, and now he's in fine art galleries.
Shepard Fairey is our generation's answer to Andy Warhol.
I first came across his artwork when I was living on the Bowery in New York, and I saw his wheat paste posters everywhere. And then the consciousness started to grow about him.
One night I was making a stencil after a skate session, and I think The Clash or something, and a friend of mine said, hey, you know, I'm bored, I want to make a stencil too. So I looked through the newspaper just for a picture that he could practice on. Saw an ad for wrestling with Andre the Giant, and said, why don't you make a stencil of this? It was very spontaneous, very off the cuff, and I, for some reason, felt like following through with it and making this sticker that was just gonna be an inside joke. Then the more you put an image out there in public, the more important it seems. It caught on, and next thing you know, the local paper ran a piece asking, what is the Andre the Giant campaign all about?
Obviously, he did an amazing job marketing himself and his images, and I think he's trying to branch into the contemporary art world.
It's incredible validation for me to be showing here and be taken seriously when a lot of people for years did not take street art seriously and didn't really see it as anything other than, you know, mischief and vandalism.
In a lot of ways, Shepard's work doesn't really address the concerns of fine art. His stuff goes more into the realm of cultural context and how things are important to a particular generation of people.
The goal of my art is to get people to question everything. If you want to define art, art is creating something that is for you, and it's saying what you want to say.
Shepard's got a political and social agenda to his work, but he also has a sense of humor with it as well.
This piece is called the Toxicity Inspector. The concept of peace is so foreign that they have to try to figure out what the hell it is.
Before I was ever asked to be in an art show in a gallery, I was out doing my thing on the street because I wanted to be able to immediately communicate with the public, whether I had a sanctioned forum for it or not.
I think Shepard Fairey's work is art. It's a socially involved art. It's not a pure, esoteric sort of fine art. It's art that's intended to be thought about, to be upsetting, to get us thinking.
I think that the art experience is to raise someone's consciousness, and at the end of the day, the Shepard Fairey experience is to promote the brand of Shepard Fairey as a corporate entity. So I don't consider it art.
It wasn't really until I was 14 and I started skateboarding and listening to punk rock that I started to see a potential connection between culture that excited me and art.
These pieces are, you know, my sort of faux album covers, whether it's like psychedelic rock or this is actually a reference to The Clash.
The reason why the fine art world isn't familiar with Shepard is because his audience more is youth culture, and the fine art world isn't really interested in street art or work that's too influenced maybe by advertising, and if they see these things, then automatically they sort of turn their nose to it.
It wasn't until after making posters and putting them on the street and galleries contacting me saying, hey, we like what you do in the street, we'd like to show you, that I started to consider showing in galleries.
The context of the gallery will always change the meaning of anything you put in it. So you can do a museum of teddy bears, and people will, with that context, consider teddy bears art.
Give him some time. He has the ability and he has the drive to really make a mark in visual culture.
I always work harder when I feel like I want to prove people wrong, so being inside and outside the system and winning on both fronts is like awesome.